Meet the Miss Bardahl, a boat that was formerly known as Miss Tempest. She was built by Norm Christensen in his backyard. She is now owned in cooperation between Norm Christensen and Ole Bardahl, a man who has had some 8 years of racing experience at Indianapolis. I'd like to have you meet some of the men who are instrumental in the success or failure of the Miss Bardahl. So let's step in and meet those crew members and take them away from their work as you watch them out here in West Seattle getting the boat ready for Tahoe for the Gold Cup and the other races on the unlimited hydroplane circuit. I'd like to have you meet 3 of the 4 WIC members who work on the crew of Miss Bardahl. Let's turn first of all to the man who is known as mechanical advisor, and that would be Peter Wick. Peter, how long have you been associated with the marine industry?
Close on to 30 years.
And had you had any inkling at all what you were going to get into when you got into this unlimited hydroplane field?
No, not a bit. It was really new. I was non-post.
How did you happen to become associated with the Miss Bardahl, which was formerly the Miss Tempest?
Well, you know how it is when you get out here, these races, they look pretty good to you, and you get kind of overtaken by them. And my son here, Richard, he worked on me, and we were going to take over a scooter, we thought, and then we talked to Norm Christensen, and the first thing I knew, I was in it.
Well, now, being in it, what are your specific duties? What do you do?
Well, I manage the crew and kind of orient everything as it goes along to kind of keep the bugs out of it if possible.
How many crew members do you have all in all working on a full-time basis?
We have 7 full-time crew members and about 13 counting the drones.
Is Pete a mascot for you?
He is our mascot, Bill.
Does he actually do any work around the boat?
Yes, we make him work to earn his keep. We make him polish it and so forth, get what we can out of him.
Will you be going to Tahoe?
Oh, definitely.
What about your engine setup now? How many are you going to have?
We're going to have 2 for Tahoe and 1 we're keeping in reserve for the Gold Cup. Then we have 1 that we use just for everyday sport.
I understand you do a little driving yourself.
Well, I take it out. I enjoy it, Bill.
Good. Let me talk to your son over here. Now, what are your duties, Richard?
Well, I'm the crew chief, Bill. I take care of the crew and work the engines over and keep them in shape.
Did you get your father interested, or did he get you interested? Which way was it?
Well, I kind of got him interested.
How did you happen to become interested yourself personally? Did you go out and watch the boats run, or?
Well, that's right. We have our own boat, and we've watched the boats from the log boom every year, and I got talking with some of the fellows, and first thing we know, we're involved.
Let me ask you this. What's your theory behind unlimited hydroplane racing? What do you think it takes to win?
Well, it takes a good hull first, and the right combination of an engine and prop with the hull.
And how much experimentation do you think that you'll have to do with Miss Bardahl before you come up with that magic combination?
Well, we hope not too much, but it looks like it's going to take quite a bit, and we hope to have it by Tahoe.
Do you have any theory behind having a shorter boat than what most of the boats are, comparatively as far as length is concerned?
Well, yes, I do. I think it takes less horsepower to lift the boat, and I think she turns better, and she has a little bit shorter afterplane, but she's not too much shorter, actually.
You sound optimistic. You are, I presume. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Now we'd like to have you meet a man who has a lot to do with fuel mixture, and also the owner of Miss Bardahl. One of the owners, that is. Don Simmons, we haven't talked much about fuel mixture, although there has been a great deal written about it. You happen to be connected with the Bardahl organization. What is your specific title?
I'm the chief chemist of the Bardahl Manufacturing Company.
Well, how much chemistry is involved in a fuel mixture setup?
Well, petroleum chemistry is one of the most complex and weirdest subjects of all the fields of chemistry.
Have you had an experiment on that basis with this engine when it was in the sky? In other words, have you been connected with the airplane industry?
Yes, prior to coming with the Bardahl Manufacturing Corporation, I was chief chemist of one of the Air Force Petroleum Laboratories here at Mukilteo, and we were responsible for piston engines and jet propulsion.
I would presume that the use of fuel mixture and fuels as such in the air is a great deal further advanced than what we find on the water, isn't it?
Yes, but for a different purpose. The government, one of the prime factors, of course, is economics and availability, and here we were able to experiment with more expensive and rare petroleum components, and then again design the fuel for one specific engine under rather more different and difficult circumstances than when it's airborne.
Well, this situation that you find yourself in here with the water situation, what it is, I mean, has it been something that you think that you've been able to lick, or are you still a long ways away from it?
Well, we'll figure we licked it when we start being consistent winners, but the engine's operating under more severe conditions in the past.
Where do you find your biggest moment of failure? What is the thing that fails most often for you? Can you give us an idea?
Well, we haven't had sufficient background to stabilize it. We've had some bad mechanical problems, but I would say the prime cause for failure from the fuel standpoint is the extreme heat and the air deficiency that the engine's operating under.
But I am quite sure that you'll be able to cure that sometime in the not too distant future.
Good hopes.
Thanks an awful lot, Don. I'd like to have you meet the man who actually owns the Bardahl, who is in here with Norm Christensen as the ownership set up on the boat that was formerly known as Tempest and now known as Miss Bardahl. Ole, what about your feelings when you're connected with an industry like unlimited hydroplanes?
Well, I think there's a lot of excitement with it, and although I'm got limited experience in the hydroplane, although I have quite a bit of experience in race cars in Indianapolis and also sprint cars and hot rods and so on.
Do you find that there's a similarity, though, in your approach between this and Indianapolis?
There is quite a bit similarity in it. Although when you try to rev up an engine from that is practically built to 3,000 RPM up to 4,000 RPM, it is quite a project on it.
In other words, it's going to take a great deal of patience, I suppose.
Well, and I have patience. I have 8 years patience now in Indianapolis, and I hope one time I will come into my run. If I don't, I'm going to keep on till I get there.
Well, what about Indianapolis now? What's your best record so far with the Bardahl?
He came in number 2 one time, 3 one time, and 9, and 11, and I think it was 14 or 13 sometime there.
Do you find that there's any greater tension for you now that you are an owner of a boat and have your own commercial name on that product? I mean, are you more personally involved?
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's quite a excitement to see the boat out in the water. To run in the water and run on land is really 2 different things.
Do you find that your friends give you a friendly bit of kidding if your boat doesn't do what you think it should do or they think it should do?
Well, I'm pretty well used to that. I can take quite a bit of kidding on it, and I feel that if we will have better luck at Tahoe and at the Gold Cup than we had at Lake Chelan.
Let's end it on that optimistic note. Ole, it's wonderful having you in the unlimited hydroplane business.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope you see more of each other.
Thank you very much, Ole. This boy did a great job down at Tahoe. He had a real rough water to run in, and of course the boat is only 27 feet long. And man, this kid really drove a race down there. He finished up in 3rd place, but he really took a bumping and showed his skill. He's a limited pilot, too. He drives 266s. Brother, he likes speed. He likes the going real rough. Here comes the Miss Wahoo. She's all by herself. The Bardahl is coming real hard in the outside corner. Here comes Miss Seattle. It's Wahoo, Bardahl, Miss Seattle. Rocket is last. And Gale 5 is fourth. Now let's see how they go to the south turn. Into the south turn. It was Wahoo on the inside corner, planning his start beautifully, getting off right on the money. He is into the corner first. Now let's see if he comes out of the corner first. The first of 10 times around the course. 30 miles, Heat 1A. On the inside corner, we have the Bardahl. Bardahl is first. And the Wahoo is second. It is Bardahl coming out of the south corner now. And it is Wahoo on the inside corner. And coming up real hard in 3rd place is the Gale 5. Now the Miss Seattle has come up and taken over in 3rd place. Bardahl is running out in front. Halfway through the back stretch. It's Wahoo in second, and buried in the spray on the outside is Miss Seattle with Chuck Hickling at the wheel as the Gale 5 and the Rocket trail. Approaching the deceleration point of the north corner, it's Bardahl, driven by Norm Evans,
And it's Miss Seattle who has taken over second place on the inside corner, and Wahoo goes to the outside as they go through the north corner. Miroslovak coming to the outside now and trying to get by Miss Seattle in second place as Bardahl goes into the north corner, and here comes Miroslovak on the outside corner. It is Gale 5 in fourth place. It is Miss Rocket in fifth place as she comes up hard on Gale 5 on the inside corner. Here is Bardahl coming around on the inside corner, still first as they shape off the final buoy. It is Miss Seattle on the inside running in second place. Here Wahoo comes on the outside corner and takes over second place. Bardahl, end of lap 1, coming up right now. In second place is Miss Wahoo, and in third place is Miss Seattle. In fourth place, just coming out of the north turn, is Gale 5. In fifth place is Miss Rocket. Going to the south turn, we have Wahoo running wide on the outside corner, Bardahl on the inside. 104 miles an hour for the first time around the course. Rocket just finished her first lap in last place. Moving halfway through the south corner, we have Bardahl now lengthening his lead a little bit over the Wahoo, is in second place, about 10 seconds behind. Wahoo in second place was 3 seconds behind at the end of the first lap, and Miss Seattle in third place was 6 seconds behind. Now Wahoo goes to the outside corner, up that back stretch. Here's your real stretch duel for you for the first and second place. Bardahl on the inside corner, Wahoo on the outside, buried in the spray, and the rest of the field is pretty well back now as Miss Seattle trails in third place. It's strictly a two-boat race at this moment as Wahoo goes out after Bardahl, 3/4 of the way up the back stretch. We approach the north turn, and Miss Seattle is dead in the water out of the south corner. So we have 4 boats left out here, and it is Bardahl on the inside corner, 128 miles an hour on that stretch. It is Wahoo on the outside corner, both boats even, as Wahoo's on the outside and Bardahl is on the inside. Hard, here comes Wahoo on the outside, and Bardahl seems to be having a little bit of trouble, although he's holding to that margin in Heat 1A. 4 boats are left as Gale 5 moves to third place and Rocket to fourth with Miss Seattle out of it. Here comes Bardahl on the inside corner, approaching the 1,000-foot mark. In second place, we have the Miss Wahoo. Wahoo is about 3 seconds behind at the end of the first lap. Now what is she? Bardahl first at the end of 2 laps, and the Wahoo is second. As the third place boat just rounds out of the north turn, start of third lap, Wahoo is now 2 seconds behind in second place. Bardahl is first, Wahoo is second, and Gale 5 is now third, with the Rocket running fourth and the Miss Seattle dead out of the south corner. Approaching the south corner, on the inside corner, Bardahl is still running hard, about 2 seconds out in front of Wahoo, running in second place on the outside corner. Gale 5 has just finished her second lap in third place. Here comes Rocket, finishing in fourth place, which makes her last in a 4-boat field. Out of the stretch now, out of the south corner, up the back stretch, comes the Bardahl. And again on the outside corner, buried in the spray, we have the Wahoo. Wahoo makes her bid now, draws up dead even with her on the outside corner. We'll clock them as they go down in there, nose for nose. Bardahl running hard on that inside corner, and Wahoo starts to move out in front. Miroslovak on the third lap makes his move. He moves into first place on the outside. Now let's see if he can cut over. He must give a rooster tail room to the Bardahl, and the Bardahl stays tight on that inside corner. Norm has an advantage there if he can hold to it. Bardahl 128 up that back stretch. Here comes Miroslovak cutting hard now on this third time around the course. Heat 1A, 4 boats are left as the third place boat starts to come up the back stretch. That's Gale 5. And in fourth place, just rounding out of the south corner, is the Miss Rocket. It is Wahoo coming out of the turn now as Norm Evans almost tipped over. It's Wahoo taking over in first place at the end of lap 3 at the 1,000-foot mark. Wahoo in first place, Bardahl in second. Wahoo leading, Miss Bardahl second.